This is Brian Mayer, host of Hot Sauce Weekly. And you are listening to BCRN, all barbecue and grilling all the time.
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Welcome to the Barbecue Central Show, the show where we talk about all things that are important in the world of barbecue. From big-name interviews with competitors on the barbecue circuit, grill manufacturers and pit makers, to advice on cooking brisket and ribs. You'll find it all right here on the Barbecue Central Show. Your host, Greg Rempe, is a backyard barbecue and grilling fanatic and loves to talk about his passion, which many of us share together. You can learn more about barbecue and grilling by visiting the website, thebbqcentral.com. Now, let's get in the smoke. Here's your program host, Greg Rempe.
Psst. Guess what? It's time for the Barbecue Central Show. Oh yeah, this is the show that talks about all things important to the world of barbecue and grilling. We originate from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio, and it is the barbecue capital of the North Coast, right here on the Barbecue Central radio networks, which can be found at the bbqcentralshow.com. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard tonight in a jam-packed hour plus we do have on tap right here for you at Barbecue Central Show. Let me give you some contact information in case you want to jump in tonight. You can call. Of course, it's toll-free. I will pay for it. 877-448-0433 is the number to call. You can also email the show if you want to, bbqcentralradio@gmail.com. Those are the two ways to get in on the show tonight if you want. You got a barbecue take, you got a question for a guest that we're going to be having on, and I will tell you who those folks are here in just a second. Or you just want to weigh in on something that you've done, whether it be live fire, gas grilling, charcoal grilling, barbecuing, whatever. More than happy to have you. 877-448-0433, bbqcentralradio@gmail.com. Here's what's happening on the show tonight. Coming up next segment, we are going to have Ted Reeder. He's a monthly contributor here. He is the Canadian barbecue and grilling wizard guru over there right north of the United States and Canada. He's going to be talking about something that had been widely sweeping the internet and TV and papers and pretty much anything that has to do with the reporting of good stuff with barbecue and grilling. The world record-breaking burger. Ted had been working on this for a number of weeks. You would recall last month he actually referenced this right before he got off air for his segment ending, and he pulled off a 590-pound effort. So we're going to talk to Ted about that. Lots of stuff to deconstruct as far as how that whole thing happened, so look forward to that around 14 past the hour. Segment after that, third segment, Derek Riches from About.com, another monthly guest. Probably a little bit different than what we usually do with Derek. Typically, Derek comes on with a handful of items that he likes to give his opinion on. He's one of the master reviewers out there on the internet today. He's got a great blog, bbq.about.com. But he spent some time over the weekend past at Memphis in May, one of the biggest barbecue competitions during the course of any calendar year for any sanctioning body. So we'll kind of change it up a little bit with that segment with Derek. We'll get his thoughts on just what the vibe is like out there, other events and venues that are going on during the whole barbecue fest out there. So that's going to be Derek Riches about 34 past the hour. And then, of course, we have the four-segment free-for-all for your chance to win some great prize giveaways to include frog mats, wood smoke products from Greenleaf Barbecue, a Cosmos Q injection pack, barbecue sauce from Big Butts Barbecue. I believe it's a 3-pack of sample sauce. And we have a new sponsor for the giveaway section, the Firehouse Barbecue award-winning barbecue rubs, which I'll tell you about here in just a second. Then coming up after dark, 10 o'clock Eastern, 10:05 Eastern, Memphis in May Grand Champion Melissa Cookston of Yazoo's Delta Q. So a jam-packed show. To be sure, 877-448-0433, bbqcentralradio@gmail.com. As I had mentioned, we have the new fourth-segment free-for-all giveaway sponsor. This would be Pete's Firehouse Barbecue, their award-winning barbecue rubs, now available for purchase, and they use these award-winning rubs have been used in backyards, also at competitions, all natural ingredients, no MSG, so if you're an MSG person or you're allergic to the MSG, it's not in there, so you don't have to worry about it. They have the original, which is a great blend on the ribs, on the pork, on the chicken. It's won several awards, including Grand Championships. Also, they have the Santa Maria-style rub, which is great on beef, chicken, seafood, and veggies. And this has actually won several awards on brisket and tri-tip as well. So if you want to place an order, if you want to jump right to them and place an order, you can go to Pete'sFireHouseBBQ.com, or you can call them at 951-848-9746. So thanks to Pete for jumping in, sponsoring a giveaway segment. Certainly appreciate that. Speaking of Memphis in May, don't know if you saw this. Maybe you caught this on the news, the barbecue news or whatever. Dateline, Memphis, Tennessee. There was a major drug bust at Tom Lee Park this weekend. 3 members of Shotwell smokers were arrested after deputies found several backpacks filled with drugs at Barbecue Fest, which is the place that has Memphis in May. Investigators say the team is believed to be selling drugs out of their tent. That's right. You know, the Barbecue Fest is known for its party almost as much as it's known for its pork, and the Memphis in May encourages a celebration. But according to Diane Hampton, we don't do this just for the seriousness of the competition. We do it for celebrating of Memphis. So we expect people to have a good time, but we also expect people to play by the rules. But of course, it looks like Shotwell smokers broke the rules a little bit. Ron Haynes, Michael Happ, and James Innocenti. Little funniness there with that guy's last name. Drop the I on that last name of that guy, and it's Innocent, which evidently he is the opposite of James Innocenti. All arrested on possession and distribution charges. Happ was also charged with a possession of a firearm while committing a felony. He had a loaded Glock in the tent, which I believe is to discourage any type of shigging that might be going on with the people that he was set up next to. Basically how this happened, one of the deputies walked into the tent, smelled marijuana, asked permission to see if they could go inside the booth themselves, and they pretty much allowed him to do that. So not only are they stupid for taking drugs and what appears to be a large amount, enough to get caught for the intent of distribution, but then, you know, why not let law enforcement in there after they smell pot? Sounds like a great idea to me. Deputies found nearly 100 prescription pills, including Xanax, hydrocodone, morphine, oxycodone, and other varieties. They found about 2 ounces of marijuana, a small amount of cocaine, drug paraphernalia, nearly $6,000 in cash. $6,000 in cash. What are people doing over in Memphis in May? They eating pork or are they getting some toot? Cocaine? I thought that was like 1982. Wasn't cocaine like in 1980? People are selling cocaine still. You still doing cocaine? Work up to meth. It's much better. It's much more avant-garde. Based on the large variety of drugs and the fact that there was a large amount of cash that was also found on the person and a couple hundred found on another, the charges support that there could have been some dealings and distributions going on there. You think? That's probably not going to be, that'll probably be the last time Shotwell Smokers is invited back to compete at the Memphis in May competition, which I believe the president said that they were no longer allowed. Why? Why not? No, there was no meth there. No meth. No crack cocaine. Cocaine, but no crack. Come on, let them back. There, you know, it's. Do you know how much it costs to go set up a booth at Memphis in May for a Memphis Barbecue Network? You got to recoup some of that. These are young businessmen that happen to get on the wrong side of the law, I think. Holy moly! So there you go. Little piece of news. A lot of stuff on this show tonight focusing about Memphis in May. Got to make you aware of everything that's going on over there. So not only are there world championships in pork being doled out, but there's Xanax and oxycodone, loaded Glocks, and all that other stuff, too. Takes all kinds to run a barbecue show, ladies and gentlemen. Takes all kinds. Hey, have I told you about D-Dog's barbecue rub? Well, I apologize if I haven't. But the one thing you do want to know about D-Dog's barbecue rub is, A, it's always better than ketchup. But B, if you want to buy them locally and you want to stop dealing with the online stuff, I can help you. But first, you got to help my man over at D-Dogs. That's Darren. You got to email him the name, address, and phone number of your local barbecue store, farmer's market, or grocery store. Then Darren will take over from there. He'll get you stocked up Willie right there locally. So if you happen to run out of rub when you're in the middle of prepping a butt or a brisket, no need to curse yourself because you didn't order enough online the last time you were at DDogsBBQ.com. You can just get right in your car and run right up to the store. Hook up. It's just that easy. You got to email that info. Darren at DDogsBBQ.com. Darren, D-A-R-I-N. Darren at DDogsBBQ.com, and he'll take care of the rest. Not afraid of shipping charges? Just visit the website, DDogsBBQ.com. I am going to get out. I'm going to look for Ted Reeder coming up after this, talking about a big-ass burger. Stay tuned.
Barbecue fans travel from all over the country and the world to learn the secrets of real pit barbecue from Grand Champion Pitmaster Conrad Haskins. Now take your skills to the next level with a Barbecue Institute Pitmaster class. You'll learn how to make sauces, rubs, and smoke mouth-watering barbecue every time you cook. Your new skills will impress friends and family. Internet forums, blogs, and Facebook are full of success stories from our graduates. Upcoming classes locations include Rock City Rib Fest, Rochester, New York, Lexington, Massachusetts, Lang Factory Test Kitchen in Georgia, Fort Worth, Texas, Fredericksburg, Texas, Houston, Texas, Monroe, Washington, and Kennewick, Washington. For more information, class dates, and contests we'll be competing in, visit www.bbqclass.com. That's bbqclass.com.
Central Lights. You having marriage troubles? Your kid's unruly and don't listen? Then you need the Ribolator, because great barbecue will always bring the family together, and the Ribolator always cooks great award-winning barbecue. You can try it free for 30 days, and if your family life doesn't improve, just send it back. Ribolator even pays return shipping. But you need to take that first step. Visit Ribolator.com to get started or call 206-999-0962. Don't you deserve a happy barbecue family?
The future of barbecue is already here at thebarbecueguru.com. From the amazing guru that monitors and controls the temperatures of any charcoal, wood, or electric pit to the Caldera Tallboy knockdown smoker. Yes, it breaks down and stores flat, yet it's still a robust, sturdy, portable cooker and smokehouse. It also serves as an efficient temperature-controlled convection oven using wood or charcoal. The Tallboy is designed to fit all catering pans and can be used as a warming oven. You can cook in any style you choose. Make ribs, chicken, jerky, vegetables, smoked cheese, whatever you want. Take it to KCBS competitions and unload it from the trunk of your car. TheBarbecueGuru.com is where you'll find the Caldera 3-Bay Caterer. It's stainless steel and uses charcoal or sterno for chafing purposes. And it doubles as a 3-bay sink or wash station with hot water and knocks down in seconds with no tools required for transportation and storage. The future of barbecue is here at thebarbecueguru.com. That's www.thebbqguru.com or call 1-800-288-GURU.
Hey, gang. Want to talk to you real quick about something that's very important when you're buying stuff online. You need to deal with a company that is reputable and knows what they're doing, and that's why I always recommend Fred Bernardo of Fred's Music and BBQ.com. We all know that Fred's Music is the barbecue and grilling superstore, from any kind of cooker you want to gas and charcoal grills and all the accoutrements in between to make your barbecue and grilling experience a success. But more important than all of that, Fred has been there and Fred will be there in the future. How many times have you heard the story about the guy that found that great cooker for a ridiculously low price, except it was back ordered for 10 months, or worse yet, he paid up front and never got the product? That's because some of these online retailers are here one day and gone the next. Fred has the inventory to meet your needs. It's competitively priced and shipped promptly. Shop where I shop. Fred's Music and BBQ.com. Headache-free guaranteed. Fred's Music and BBQ.com. Or, if you're in Shillington, Pennsylvania, stop by and see the smoking guitar player himself.
Introducing Cosmos Q. Cosmos injections and marinades use only the finest ingredients, and they mix easily, never clotting or caking. From our beef injection to our pork injection, you're guaranteed to wow your friends, family, and judges. And don't forget to check out our newest marinade, Cosmos Chicken Soak, for that moist and tender chicken you're gonna love. You can find all of Cosmos award-winning products at CosmosQ.com. Cosmos Q, the new generation. Taste the difference.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Welcome back. About 14 past the hour. This portion of the show brought to you by Yoder's Smoky Mountain Barbecue, the leading online distributor of Meadow Creek barbecue equipment. These barbecue smokers, pig roasters, and chicken cookers are made in the Amish country of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and their goal is to give you outstanding value for the price. And for you to enjoy easy and profitable barbecues for years to come, they also carry a complete line of wonderful barbecue rubs and sauces. Check them out on the interwebs, won't you? SeriousBBQs.com. That's SeriousBBQs.com. Good folks over at Yoder's Smoky Mountain Barbecue. All right, let's head over to the hotline. Joining me now, a man who has, I guess we'll get firm confirmation here in just 1 second, that might have broke the Guinness Book of World Records for hamburgers. It's monthly show contributor and friend of the show, Ted Reeder. Ted, how are you tonight?
Good. How you doing, Greg?
I'm doing outstanding, Ted, and I always appreciate you making time for the show. I know you're on a whirlwind book tour on top of breaking all sorts of hamburger world records. So, Ted, I got to ask you, when you were on last month, you had made kind of a reference to working this whole big issue out with the world record hamburger, and it was just kind of a teaser, and we said if you did it, you'd be on next month to talk about it. And nonetheless, and nobody should ever doubt Ted Reeder when it comes to hamburgers, especially making big ones. But as you look back on it, I know you had the cookbook out that we talked about last time about the hamburgers, but when does the whole thing about wanting to build the biggest world record hamburger strike you, and how long does the plan take to get it going?
About 5 years ago, I had the idea of breaking the Guinness Book of World Records for a large hamburger. But it was just an idea, and it stuck in the back of my mind. And when I eventually wrote a book on burgers, and my newest book, Napoleon's Everyday Gourmet Burgers, is 110 different burger recipes. And I thought to myself, hey, the best way to promote this book would be to make one more burger and just make it the world's biggest commercially available hamburger. And so we went about, once the book went to print in late last year, we started making some plans about how to do this burger. And really in the spring, in March, as the weather cleared up, I started making more plans, and we started talking to Napoleon Grills in Canada and about the design of the burger. And we had this meeting, and it came up to, and I said, okay, here's what this burger is going to look like. And I figured it's going to be about 200-pound patty, so that we can break the current record by Malley's Sports Bar in Michigan of 185.5 pounds. And I originally thought I'll make a 200-pound patty, and that'll be it. And then I started looking into it and doing some more work and testing the grill and playing around. And finally it came up with that the patty ended up being 307 pounds of ground meat.
I mean,
go ahead.
It just sounds almost unfathomable at 200 pounds. Then you increase it by 107 pounds. So, I mean, you're talking just about that much of raw meat and then all the other stuff that has to go along with that. I mean, what kind of a process are we looking at here?
We're looking at weeks of insanity, of really thinking it. And at the same time, I was working on my next book for next year called Beerlicious. And so I was trying to put this all together, and so I did my first test, and I cooked 1-pound burgers, 2-pound burgers, 5-pound burgers, 10-pound burgers, and I'd never done anything bigger, but I had done some calculations and figured out what the size of that burger would be, and I was able to put that together. But once that happened, so I said, okay, I got to cook I worked out a 42-pound hamburger, and I tried to cook it on a Meadow Creek grill.
Nice.
And I cooked this 42-pound hamburger on this Meadow Creek grill, and what I found was that I burnt the living daylights out of the one side of it in about an hour and a half. And I said, well, this isn't going to work if I'm going to try and do this with a 200-pound patty. But when I flipped the burger over to the second side, I did some modifications, and I said, okay, that was all direct. Let's slow things down. Let's look at this from a different angle. And I moved all the charcoal out of the way. Now, guys that have had this record before me, let me clarify, have all done this burger in an oven. They've put it into a mold and they've baked it in the oven that I've seen. And I decided that if I'm going to go and break this record, I'm going to have to do it on a grill, and I'm going to make it even harder. I'm going to do it on a charcoal grill.
Why not make it absolutely the most difficult process on the face of the earth, right, Ted?
Why not? If I'm going to do it, go big or go home, baby.
All right,
and that's my philosophy.
So you have to have a huge grill. And how long did it take Napoleon to make a grill? And was this specific for this event only?
Well, I had talked with the folks at Napoleon and said, this is my plan, and this is how I figured it out so far on what this should look like. A firebox that can be as big as the burger, and that will hold all the charcoal. And then I need sides and side walls, and then I figured some kind of an apparatus of a cage type of grill, so it'll eat based upon the Meadow Creek principle. that it just, you turn it over and it's nice and easy.
Right.
And so I took that concept and said, this is what I want to do, but we need to modify it. We need to be able to clamp it down. It needs to be at least to go to a foot thick in case the burger patty itself is going to be a foot thick. And so they started working. It didn't take them much longer than about a month to put the whole grill together. And once I flipped my burnt 42-pound burger and I started cooking it on the other side, I put a water pan underneath it to create the steam. And I had the charcoal all the way around it, so I was cooking it indirectly. So once that happened, we were able to make that the other side came out absolutely perfect.
So when you have the whole thing, ready to go when it's the day of to break the record, I'm sure a lot of people are fascinated with the fact of how do you get 307 pounds of raw meat onto a grill?
Well, what we did is we made a mold, and the mold was 40 inches in diameter and about 18 inches thick. And if the viewers or the listeners want to go online to my Facebook page, they can look at photos of all of the test runs that I did. And so there's a ring. We did a test on this grill because the charcoal was running over 1,000 degrees. Oof. And we had to put water pans in between the charcoal and the grill itself. But, it was pretty easy because we built a plate. We put the burger on it. We put the ring on the plate. We put the burger meat into it. We had another plate over it to press it down. And we let the burger rest. So when we put that burger into the grill and clamped it down, it pushed it. Now, this is a 307-pound patty. It's 46 inches in diameter and 6 to 8 inches thick.
Wow.
It took 6 hours to cook, and it took 400 pounds of Basque charcoal to cook it.
Wow. 6 hours to cook.
Right.
And
then there was the bun.
Well, what type of an internal temperature are you looking for on a finish?
Well, because we're in Canada and because we're in Ontario, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency and the Toronto Board of Health makes me cook that burger because it was a consumable burger. It wasn't just for show. People were going to eat this. I had to cook that burger to an internal temperature of 160 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow. And this was...
So I had to make it well done. It had to be well done.
Was it ground beef?
And we had to have... Go ahead.
Was it ground beef, or ground round, or was it sirloin? What kind of meat did you use?
I used regular ground beef, about 20% internal fat, and then I used my Orgasmic onion burger seasoning in that mixture.
And everybody ate it when it was done, right? This was consumed?
And they ate it. We sold the thing for $7,500, and raised money for a charity that I'm involved with called Camp Bucko, and it's a burn camp for kids and burn survivor children. So that's what the camp is. So that was also to raise money for this charity and to promote my burger book. But the bun was 104 pounds. It also was 46 inches in diameter and a foot thick. And then we added in 35 pounds of lettuce, 35 pounds of tomatoes, 35 pounds of red onions sliced, 25 pounds of pickles, and 50 pounds of shredded cheese.
Wow. Sounds like what I had for dinner last night.
And in the end, that's a big burger.
Yeah.
In the end, it came out to 590.0 pounds.
Wow. So, you're looking at well over a quarter ton of meat and bun and condiments.
Yeah. One big-ass burger.
So, now be honest, Ted. You're a well-known chef. You're classically trained. You're well-versed in the outdoor barbecuing and grilling aspect. When you cut it up and you started serving it out, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good did it taste?
The flavor of the meat was great, and I would give it a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10. But it didn't have the moist and juiciness. Like when I did my test burger 2 days prior, I cooked it to an internal temperature of 135 degrees, and it was a beautiful medium rare. And I tell you, that burger was absolutely delicious, and that 307-pound patty was absolutely a 10 out of 10 on the delicious scale. It was moist, it was juicy, it was tender, it was wonderful. But because the laws in this country make me cook that burger to 160 degrees, it can only be as good as it is.
We're talking with Ted Reeder. He is the world record holder at 590 pounds for a hamburger patty. TedReeder.com is his website. Ted, you're also doing the book tour that you've been racing around most of Canada with. How's the book being received, and how well is it doing?
It's doing really well. In fact, the problem we have now is our warehouse is completely sold out of the book, and we are trying to get more from our printer and get more books out there. So it's going like hotcakes. It's just, our first print run has done really well, and we hope to keep moving this burger book out into the United States and everywhere. I mean, Canada, it's a number one seller already, and it's been out just a little over a month. And we're hoping to do the same in the United States.
I think what's interesting is I've followed a lot of the pictures that you have on Facebook at various book signings, and it's even people that are taking the pictures themselves of you at your particular signings throughout Canada, and you're actually out there in some of those venues actually doing the planked baseball burgers and some of the other things, showing people how you actually do it live and in person.
Oh yeah, we're in Ottawa, Ontario right now, and I'm towing my barbecue rig behind us. We were in Montreal yesterday. We did a cooking class for 50 to 60 people at a bookstore called Appetite for Books last night. We cooked up 5 different burgers. We had ribs. We had this creamed corn I made with 3 cheeses, hot dogs, and bacon, and it was just off the charts silliness. And we just having a good time, and that's it. I'm out there. You know, my philosophy is any grill, anytime, anywhere. It doesn't matter the type of grill. As long as it can get hot, I'll cook on it. And that's my philosophy. I love to cook. And if I get to cook every day, it's just an awesome day.
Is there any plans at all for coming a little bit south into the States and doing some type of book tour like you're doing in Canada?
Yes, a little bit. I'm going to be traveling a little bit over the next couple of weeks. But I'll be in Houston for a bit at the International Dairy and Deli Show, June 6, 7, 8. I'm going to be out in Seattle and San Francisco doing some business stuff. But my first big event, unfortunately, is at the end of August in St. Joseph, Michigan, down Benton Harbor, Michigan, at KitchenAid headquarters area for the Epicurean Culinary Classic Food and Wine Festival. And I'll be doing barbecue demonstrations there, grilling demonstrations there, cooking up all kinds of burgers to promote my book. And it is a fun time at that festival. So come on down.
We're talking with Ted Reeder, and of course he is an author, a barbecue and grilling expert, and is now the current world record holder for the biggest hamburger ever made in the galaxy. Ted, I know you're busy, and I really appreciate the time tonight. Thanks for doing it.
Hey, thanks a lot, Greg. Have a delicious night. And everybody, when you're in your backyard, when you're out there cooking, remember, the only thing that matters is in the end it tastes good, and that cold beer washes it all down and makes it a lot better.
That's right. Thanks a lot, Ted.
All right. Thank you.
Take care. He's a beauty. Ted's a beauty, man. 590-pound burger. What? That's right, 590, but 307 pounds of beef, 104-pound bun, and, of course, all the other wonderful condiments that go on top of that, like another 70 or 80 or 500 pounds of stuff. I mean, that's huge. TedReeder.com is his website. Do you tweet at Ted's BBQ World? And there is a number of articles. If you just Google Ted Reeder and hamburger, you're bound to get a number of different results. So it was very well covered. That was a couple weeks ago. And there's a bunch of stuff. If you go to thestar.com and go into the living area, I believe there was a big write-up there as well. And that basks as that hardwood charcoal up there in Canada. So you got to appreciate that. Very dense, low water content, low moisture content. Better not be any water in there. Ain't doing anything. So that's Ted Reeder. TedReeder.com is his website with his 590-pound freaking burger. How about that? All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking with Derek Riches, monthly contributor, about his memories of this past weekend's Memphis in May. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show right here on the Barbecue Central Radio Networks.
Forget going from site to site to get all your barbecue and grilling supplies and make your first and final stop at fredsmusicandbarbecue.com. In the market for a new barbecue pit, we have all the big name brands like Big Green Egg and more. As a matter of fact, Fred's is staffed by eggheads and carries all the parts and accessories for the Big Green Egg. More of a pellet head, you say? Fred's is the pellet grill superstore with grills in stock from Traeger, Green Mountain, and Country Smokers from Louisiana Grills. Fred also carries smokers from Cook Shack, Bradley, and Weber as well as a full lineup of charcoal grills. And once you're outfitted with your new smoker or grill, you'll find absolutely everything you need to make your barbecue or grilling experience a success. Fred is also the creator and distributor of Tasty Licks barbecue products, including their great line of rubs, spices, and sauces. You gotta try them. You can also get your hands on a full lineup of marinades, accessories, lump charcoal, wood chips, pellets, chunks, and even the great grilling tools from Stephen Reichland of Barbecue U fame. Check Fred out on the web at fredsmusicandbbq.com or check out their fully stocked showroom in beautiful Shillington, PA.
Centralites, you having marriage troubles? Your kid's unruly and don't listen? Then you need the Ribbolator, because great barbecue will always bring the family together, and the Ribbolator always cooks great award-winning barbecue. You can try it free for 30 days, and if your family life doesn't improve, just send it back. Ribbolator even pays return shipping. But you need to take that first step. Visit Ribbolator.com to get started or call 206-999-0962. Don't you deserve a happy barbecue family?
The future of barbecue is already here at thebarbecueguru.com. From the amazing guru that monitors and controls the temperatures of any charcoal, wood, or electric pit to the Caldera Tallboy knockdown smoker. Yes, it breaks down and stores flat, yet it's still a robust, sturdy, portable cooker and smokehouse. It also serves as an efficient temperature-controlled convection oven using wood or charcoal. The Tallboy is designed to fit all catering pans and can be used as a warming oven. You can cook in any style you choose. Make ribs, chicken, jerky, vegetables, smoked cheese, whatever you want. Take it to KCBS competitions and unload it from the trunk of your car. TheBarbecueGuru.com is where you'll find the Caldera 3-Bay Caterer. It's stainless steel and uses charcoal or sterno for chafing purposes. And it doubles as a 3-bay sink or wash station with hot water and knocks down in seconds with no tools required for transportation and storage. The future of barbecue is here at thebarbecueguru.com. That's www.thebbqguru.com or call 1-800-288-GURU.
Introducing Cosmos Q. Cosmos injections and marinades use only the finest ingredients, and they mix easily, never clotting or caking. From our beef injection to our pork injection, you're guaranteed to wow your friends, family, and judges. And don't forget to check out our newest marinade, Cosmos Chicken Soak, for that moist and tender chicken you're gonna love. You can find all of Cosmos award-winning products at CosmosQ.com. Cosmos Q, the new generation. Taste the difference.
Barbecue fans travel from all over the country and the world to learn the secrets of real pit barbecue from Grand Champion Pitmaster Conrad Haskins. Now take your skills to the next level with a Barbecue Institute Pitmaster class. You'll learn how to make sauces, rubs, and smoke mouth-watering barbecue every time you cook. Your new skills will impress friends and family. Internet forums, blogs, and Facebook are full of success stories from our graduates. Upcoming classes locations include Rock City Rib Fest, Rochester, New York, Lexington, Massachusetts, Lang Factory Test Kitchen in Georgia, Fort Worth, Texas, Fredericksburg, Texas, Houston, Texas, Monroe, Washington, and Kennewick, Washington. For more information, class dates, and contests we'll be competing in, visit www.bbqclass.com. That's bbqclass.com.
Get in the smoke. Call 877-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
We are back. About 34 past the hour. This portion of the show brought to you by the good folks over at the Barbecue Guru, makers of automatic pit temperature control devices. Not to mention a host of other products that make your barbecue and grilling life a whole hell of a lot easier. Let's be honest, folks. Two ways to find them on the interwebs at thebbqguru.com, or you can dial them up toll-free on your telephone, 800-288-GURU, 800-288-GURU. It's the good folks over at the Barbecue Guru. All right, we go back to the hotline. Joining me now, a regular monthly contributor, and we're going to kind of break off the beaten path of what we usually do. It's About.com's very own Derek Riches. Derek, thanks for coming back on tonight. How are you?
Hey, Greg. Good. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, and thanks for coming on. I know it was quite a hellacious weekend in a very good sense for you. You were attending the Memphis in May, doing a whole bunch of walking around and meeting and greeting with all the big shots that are out there, which is something, of course, I wish I could have done, but It should have been you anyway. You have a lot more experience than me, and plus I can just get you on the telephone and we can recount your experiences. So as you look back over the course of this past weekend, great champions were crowned, lots of fun were had, Xanax and oxycodone and drugs and pot were abound as well from Spotwell smokers or whoever the hell they were. But what were your estimations of how it all went down this past weekend?
Well, I think it went really well. I mean, Memphis in May is unlike any other competition out there, really. It's absolutely huge. It's 1 mile from the north gate to the south gate, and there's about 3 pathways through it. So it's just huge. A ton of people there. There are parties going on all the time. It's a lot of fun, but it's pretty exhausting.
So when you look at a Memphis Barbecue Network event, when compared to some of the other perhaps more commonly known, unless you're within that sanctioning body or within that particular subculture of MBN, I mean, it differs quite a bit as far as setup and what you're cooking and all the judging process and stuff like that. What do you like or what do you dislike about that style of competition?
Well, it is really unique. There are about 250 teams competing in basically 4 simultaneous competitions. You can only compete in one thing. So if you want to do ribs, you just do ribs. This means that the competitors are more focused on what they're doing. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a really good competition. Frankly, I really like the way it works out. It's not quite as hectic as like KCBS events. It's a lot more relaxed. It does generate more of a kind of party atmosphere, I think, just because you are working on one thing. Then I think the big thing is they crown a grand champion at the end, and that typically is who won for whole hog. And so it may be a little unfair in that direction, but all in all, I think it's a really good competition. So
teams are only allowed they have to choose one particular category that they're going to cook. They can't cook all 3.
Right. You just do one of them. You do the whole hog, you do the shoulder, or you do ribs. It is just a pork competition, but they do have they have a side competition that they judge out on Thursday, and you can do pretty much anything in there. So if you want to do brisket, you could do it then. Was there anybody that you were talking with that you found particularly unique or that had a good story from last weekend? Well, because it's such a huge competition, I decided that I would focus a little bit more on the shoulder competition, in part because you had the bigger names there. Myron Mixon had decided he was going to do shoulder at this time. That's the first time he's ever done shoulder at Memphis May. He always does whole hog. Right. Chris Lilly was there, and Tuffy Stone, Cool Smoke was there. So I just decided to, kind of focus in on these guys a little bit. And Tuffy Stone obviously winning the pork shoulder category. So, within that, was it seen as kind of a coup for a more known KCBS team coming into an NBA network and then taking the grand champion for the pork category? Or is it just, here's a guy that knows how to cook shoulder regardless of sanctioning body? Well, it's kind of interesting. Tuffy said this is literally the 4th time he's done shoulder. You put that up against someone like Chris Lilly. They do shoulder down at Big Bob Gibson's, and he's probably cooked 10,000 of them. So, I think Tuffy really felt that he was at a certain disadvantage, but, just talking with him and kind of getting the way his process works, I don't think Tuffy's ever at a disadvantage. Talking with Derek Riches from About.com, his website, bbq.about.com more specifically. He's kind of recounting what happened over at Memphis in May this past weekend. So you have, Tuffy, you have Myron Mixon, you have Chris Lilly. Was Chris Lilly actually competing under 2 different teams this year? There was a, Big Bob Gibson's and there was a Lily's Barbecue? Or was that just happened to be an odd same last name? Odd same last name. He was just doing Big Bob Gibson's, and he really focused on the restaurant. The whole family was there. So when you look at not all of the categories, but those 3, you have the ribs, which probably has the most entrants, I would imagine, simply because of the popularity of ribs. I would imagine that pork shoulder is probably the second most, and then the least entered is probably whole hog, which seems to be the most difficult to cook. Is that a leap to make, or is there no bones about it? Whole hog is going to be the hardest thing to cook throughout that competition. Oh, definitely whole hog is the hardest to cook. I mean, you got the the longest cooking time. I think there are about 40 teams in the whole hog competition. The meat inspectors are out early Friday morning because these guys are putting on to cook, by noon on Friday to, do turn in 24 hours later. So, whole hog is an ambitious effort. And it takes a lot of prep time, a lot of work, and a lot of attention to detail, and a lot of strength, too.
Do you think that because all of that is involved in doing the whole hog, that's why typically they're going to give you the overall grand champion or the world champion, whatever they call it, to the people that cook the whole hog there?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that is really the great challenge of barbecue is whole hog, and that Memphis is all about pork, and that's the way they want to look at it.
So if you have teams like Big Bob Gibson's and Jack's Old South, Myron Mixon's team that aren't competing in a whole hog, do you think that the teams that win, and of course I'm going to be having the team that was crowned overall here about 5 after 10 o'clock tonight, Yazoo's Delta Q Melissa Cookston, do you think that it somehow taints what they were able to do in winning that overall championship because some of the other more well-known whole hog teams didn't compete this year?
No, I don't really think so. I mean, it's a tough competition no matter how you put it. And, Myron is typically, he's considered the world's greatest whole hog cooker. I think he's won that like 3 times there or maybe more. And he told me that he was doing shoulder because nobody's won in 2 different categories out of Memphis in May, and he wanted to be the first.
Yeah, always looking to press the envelope as Myron Mixon. We're talking with Derek Riches from bbq.about.com. Derek, before we part ways tonight, why don't I go ahead and bring up one thing, because you are a master reviewer and you get to play with a lot of cool stuff. There was one thing that we were going to be talking about tonight out of the litany of stuff that you had written down that we could potentially touch on, which is called the Stacker Smoker, which can be found at smackersbbq.com. What is this thing exactly?
Well, this is a pretty unique product. I got to see it while I was down at Memphis in May. Basically, it's like one of those big block smokers. It's just a big rectangular metal box, stands about 5.5 feet tall. Now, traditionally with these, you have a very large door, and you open the door, you let your heat out, you let your smoke out, right. And if you need to be in there for a minute, then you've got all that recovery time. What this is a series of drawers. At the bottom is an ash catcher, then you have your charcoal drawer, then you have a water pan drawer, and then you have your cooking drawers. You pull out one of the drawers all the way out, it reseals the smoker unit. So you're still cooking, but you can work on what's on that drawer, close it back up, and it's right there. It stays at temperature, keeps your smoke inside. So really interesting product, I think.
What kind of a drawer clearance do we have? Are you able to put butts on one over the other, or is it not as forgiving in height?
Well, they've got 2 models. There's the rib stacker, what they call it. It's got 3 drawers. They're fairly narrow. You could get maybe a brisket flat in there, but not much too big. You couldn't put a pork butt in there. Then they've got the backyard unit. This will accommodate much more space. So you could put a whole pork shoulder or something in there. The rib unit, you can do about 20 racks of ribs in there, so it's got a pretty good volume to it. It really depends on what you want, and I guess what you're going to be cooking.
What kind of a price point are you looking at on these models?
You're looking at about $4,000.
$4,000?
Yeah, $4,000. Yeah. It's a really well-built unit. It's really nice, but it's a little pricey.
What kind of a track record have you heard of this company before? Is it just something brand new that you saw, and do you know anybody that actually has them and has used them for a long time?
I've just been looking into it, and I don't know anyone who actually has it. They haven't been out on the market for very long, and they're just kind of pushing it right now. But from what I've seen, the quality construction is excellent, and it's a really nice looking smoker if you got the money for it.
I think both you and I need to get some test units into the respective backyard test kitchens and see if we can put them through its paces.
Oh, definitely. I think that's something we should plan on.
That's the Stacker Smoker, which can be found at smackersbbq.com/smokers, and you can check it out for yourself. $4,000 jumping in. And, of course, we always appreciate Derek Riches from bbq.about.com for joining us every month. Derek, appreciate the stories about Memphis in May this past weekend and the review on Stacker Smokers. We'll look for you again next month.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, thanks. Take care. There he is, Derek Riches. Man, oh man. $4,000. I mean, typically I'm not the guy that's hit with sticker shock, but that seems, from never seeing it and never hearing about it, and I troll all the forums. So, I mean, if somebody out there has anything that has to do with some type of cooker, I've at least heard about it, I thought. Well, maybe not. Well, that's all right. Smackers, like Smackers? SmackersBBQ.com. Check that out. See what you think. We'll have to get one in. We got to get one in. All right, that means that when we come back from this set of commercial breaks, the LA Talk Radio will feed. So if you want to get the rest of the hour into the second hour, just go ahead over to the Barbecue Central Radio Networks at thebbqcentralshow.com, and you will be able to get the rest of this hour because we have the 4-segment free-for-all coming up. Plus, we have After Dark segment coming up with Yazoo's Delta Q's very own Melissa Cookston. So, I mean, you just don't want to miss that. That's stuff that you don't want to miss. The BBQCentralShow.com is the place to go to get the rest of tonight's first hour into the second hour. We're going to come back with a little 4-segment free-for-all, so go ahead and start dialing in to win. It's toll-free, so what do you have to lose? Very easy questions that you have to answer for cool stuff. 877-448-0433. 877-448-0433. Call now to win cool, free stuff. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show right here on the Barbecue Central Radio Networks.
Barbecue fans travel from all over the country and the world to learn the secrets of real pit barbecue from Grand Champion Pitmaster Conrad Haskins. Now take your skills to the next level with a Barbecue Institute Pitmaster class. You'll learn how to make sauces, rubs, and smoke mouth-watering barbecue every time you cook. Your new skills will impress friends and family. Internet forums, blogs, and Facebook are full of success stories from our graduates. Upcoming classes locations include Rock City Rib Fest, Rochester, New York, Lexington, Massachusetts, Lang Factory Test Kitchen in Georgia, Fort Worth, Texas, Fredericksburg, Texas, Houston, Texas, Monroe, Washington, and Kennewick, Washington. For more information, class dates, and contests we'll be competing in, visit www.bbqclass.com. That's bbqclass.com.
Centralites, you having marriage troubles? Your kid's unruly and don't listen? Then you need the Ribolator, because great barbecue will always bring the family together, and the Ribolator always cooks great award-winning barbecue. You can try it free for 30 days, and if your family life doesn't improve, just send it back. Ribolator even pays return shipping. But you need to take that first step. Visit Ribolator.com to get started or call 206-999-0962. Don't you deserve a happy barbecue family?
The future of barbecue is already here at thebarbecueguru.com. From the amazing guru that monitors and controls the temperatures of any charcoal, wood, or electric pit to the Caldera Tallboy knockdown smoker. Yes, it breaks down and stores flat, yet it's still a robust, sturdy, portable cooker and smokehouse. It also serves as an efficient temperature-controlled convection oven using wood or charcoal. The Tallboy is designed to fit all catering pans and can be used as a warming oven. You can cook in any style you choose. Make ribs, chicken, jerky, vegetables, smoked cheese, whatever you want. Take it to KCBS competitions and unload it from the trunk of your car. TheBarbecueGuru.com is where you'll find the Caldera 3-Bay Caterer. It's stainless steel and uses charcoal or sterno for chafing purposes. And it doubles a 3-bay sink or wash station with hot water and knocks down in seconds with no tools required for transportation and storage. The future of barbecue is here at thebarbecueguru.com. That's www.thebbqguru.com or call 1-800-288-GURU.
Hey, gang. Want to talk to you real quick about something that's very important when you're buying stuff online. You need to deal with a company that is reputable and knows what they're doing, and that's why I always recommend Fred Bernardo of Fred's Music and BBQ.com. We all know that Fred's Music is the barbecue and grilling superstore, from any kind of cooker you want to gas and charcoal grills and all the accoutrements in between to make your barbecue and grilling experience a success. But more important than all of that, Fred has been there and Fred will be there in the future. How many times have you heard the story about the guy that found that great cooker for a ridiculously low price, except it was back ordered for 10 months, or worse yet, he paid up front and never got the product? That's because some of these online retailers are here one day and gone the next. Fred has the inventory to meet your needs. It's competitively priced and shipped promptly. Shop where I shop. Fred's Music and BBQ.com. Headache-free guaranteed. Fred's Music and BBQ.com. Or, if you're in Shillington, Pennsylvania, stop by and see the smoking guitar player himself.
Introducing Cosmos Q. Cosmos injections and marinades use only the finest ingredients, and they mix easily, never clotting or caking. From our beef injection to our pork injection, you're guaranteed to wow your friends, family, and judges. And don't forget to check out our newest marinade, Cosmos Chicken Soak, for that moist and tender chicken you're gonna love. You can find all of Cosmos award-winning products at CosmosQ.com. Cosmos Q, the new generation. Taste the difference. Sometimes it's all about the free stuff. Call now to win something succulent.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
We are back about 10 till the hour. This portion of the show brought to you by the Ribolator. Don't forget about their stainless steel. I've termed it the Every Ring. It goes on the 22.5-inch Weber Smoky Mountain. The Weber kettles, the Ugly Drum smokers as well, turns it into a 4-rack Ferris wheel hold thingamabob. It's $119. You can get a complete setup. Would get you the ring, the spit, the motor, the Ribolator, everything for those 22.5-inch. For $150, info at Ribolator.com is the email, or Ribolator.com to find it out for yourself. Ribolator.com. Hey, let's play a little 4-segment free-for-all. Hi, everybody. Harry Carey here. Hi. Okay, back for another week. I can't believe it. Time flies when you're dead. What? Okay, Tuesday night. Here's how we play the game. I'm going to ask you barbecue questions or not barbecue questions. You're going to pick which ones you want to hear. And then you have 5 seconds to answer each question. They're easy. Person waiting on hold, they're easy. Just relax. Don't take a Xanax. Don't do any blow. I highly disregard it. I don't recommend it either. Okay, it's just that easy. Let's play the game. Here we go. Let's jump to the phone. Area code 585. This is Harry Carey. Who's this?
It's Noel Groskopf.
Hi, Noel. How are you?
Good.
Good. I'm glad to hear. You ready to play the 4-segment free-for-all?
Yes, I am.
Okay, do you know how to play?
I think so. Just answer the question.
That's right, Noel. Hey, do you want barbecue questions or not barbecue questions?
Barbecue questions.
Okay, here we go. Question number 1. What's your favorite barbecue roundtable show?
Greg Rapke, the Barbecue Central Show.
Okay, I'll take that one. Question number 2. Technical term for taking the backbone out of a chicken.
Debone.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Come on, Noel. Maybe you should know the technical term for taking the backbone out of a chicken. If you're going to call into the 4-segment free-for-all. Just a word to the wise. Okay, let's go back to the phone. 4-segment free-for-all. This is Harry Carey. Who's this?
Hello?
Hey, who's this?
Hi. It's Chris from Arizona.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm great.
Okay.
Asking.
Chris, do you want to play the game?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, do you want barbecue questions or not barbecue questions?
Oh, come on, barbecue questions.
Okay, I have to ask. He makes me ask. I'm sorry, Chris. Don't hit me. Okay, here we go. What's your favorite barbecue roundtable show?
The brisket roundtable.
Oh, very good. That's very popular from what I hear. I've never listened to it myself. Okay, question number 2. What's the technical term for taking the backbone out of a chicken? It sounds dirty. That's a hint. Sounds dirty.
Spatchcock.
Oh, yes. Man, you almost ran out of time, Chris. I was going to have to drop the hammer on you. But I didn't. Okay, Chris, final question. Are you excited?
Oh, yeah, I'm terribly excited.
I know I am. Okay, Chris, here we go.
Name the barbecue pit / grill maker that sponsors the Barbecue Central show.
Ooh. Barbecue pit / grill.
It rhymes with yodel.
Smoky Mountain. Yoder, Smoky Mountain.
Oh, all right. You know, Chris, some people would yell at me and say that I was too lenient on you, but I don't care. I'm my own man. I can do what I want to do. I'm Harry Carey, goddammit. Okay, Chris, here's what you have to do. Now you have to pick a prize. If this wasn't fun enough, now you have to pick a prize. Here we go. You can choose a frog mat. You can choose barbecue rub from Pete's Firehouse. You can have Big Butts barbecue sauce. You can have a Cosmos Q injection pack. What do you want?
I'm going Cosmos.
Okay, Cosmos Q it is, Chris. And here's all you have to do. Email Greg your shipping info, bbqcentralradio@gmail.com. Okay?
Okay, you got it, sir.
All right, thanks for calling in tonight, Chris. Beat it. See, no, it's just that easy. No, call back in. There's more questions. That was Chris in Arizona. Hey, Chris, I got bad news. I hope you're a legal resident. Your ass is going to get carted off to the other side of the fence, man. I'm not kidding. You think those boys at Shotwell Smokers had a rough time at Memphis in May for doling out Annex and Noxicodone and whatever else Rush Limbaugh likes to take while he's diddling around with the young Taiwanian boys? What? Oh, that was Rod Roddy. Another play-by-play guy. Never mind. My bad. Okay. We roughly have 2 minutes left. 877-448-0433. Harry Carey in here for the 4-segment free from. Cosmos Q is gone. Can't have Cosmos Q. Pete's Firehouse Rub is here. Noel, is that you?
That's me.
Hey! All right, Noel, let's try it again. I felt bad for you. I'm glad you listened to me. Question.
All right.
Remember the golden rule. Listen to Harry Carey and life is good. Okay, here we go. Name the sanctioning body in Florida for competition barbecue.
I have no idea. Florida barbecue competition. I don't know.
Okay, I'll take it. Question number 2. Name any other sanctioning body for competition barbecue.
New England Barbecue Society.
Okay. Final question for a prize. Name the biggest barbecue event which takes place in Lynchburg, Tennessee every year.
Jack Daniels.
That's right. Hey, no. See? You listen to Harry Carey, you win a prize. Okay, what do you want? We have a frog mat. We have Pete's Firehouse barbecue rub. And we have Big Butts barbecue sauce.
I'll take the barbecue rub.
All right, Pete's Firehouse barbecue rub. Here's what you have to do, Noel. Email me your... email Greg your shipping information at bbqcentralradio@gmail.com.
Right, I got it right here, sir. Thank you.
All right, thanks for calling in tonight, Noel. Twice, deadbeat. Maybe you should know more about barbecue, Noel. Maybe I'm just pissed off because I'm trying to give myself away during the show. I think that's maybe more what it's like. All right, I think that's going to do it for tonight. I want to thank Noel for calling in 58 times. And I want to thank Chris for calling in and winning Cosmos Q. Enjoy your prizes. I'll be back next week with more questions. Nobody wants non-barbecue questions? I got them right here, damn it. You think I write non-barbecue questions because I have nothing to do? Well, you're right. I don't have anything to do. All right, we got to go. See you next week, Harry Carey. Comes win. Comes win. All right, we are back in regular mode. Yeah. All right, we are going to start to wrap up the first hour. Don't forget, coming up here after dark, Melissa Cookston of Yazoo's Delta Q, going to be talking about her win at the Memphis in May this past weekend. Plus, I'm sure there's sordid stories that she might be able to tell us about. Maybe not. I don't know. Thanks to Chris and Noel for calling in, and as far as what Harry Carey told me, so you'll be getting prizes. Also, thanks to my first segment guest, Ted Reeder.
And segment after that, we had Derek Riches, bbq.about.com, giving us his recount of Memphis in May as well. Certainly appreciate that. So let me get in a few quick drinks of an adult beverage so I can gear up and get loose for the After Dark segment with Melissa Cookston. Stick around. We'll be right back.